I don't want to startle anybody or get anybody too excited, but the sun is out and we've had an unbelievably drying day. Is it going to last though? More on that in a minute. Last video we were drawing dung, clearing this mound of dung away. Well, we've been clearing out even more sheds and we've twice as much dung here as when we had when we started. So we've been busy over the last few days. I'm going to have an update on calving here and I'll show you how things is going in the calving shed. So after quite a few days calving, no calves for almost a week, which was great, a bit of a respite with them. We had 4 in the space of 24 hours all between Wednesday and Thursday, and the 4 is here. Some of them are, someone's already tagged. Yeah, just a mix of different cows. This here's actually the sole remaining stabilizer cow that we have. She is really, we bought 5 or 6 stabilizer cows a number of years back, and she was the only one that was any good. She's the only one that's left. And she's a very nice calf, good calf. It's all basically alright, except for the one in the back. Her calf is a little bit off, a bit like the one about 3 weeks ago, if you remember. 4 weeks ago we had one that was breathing a bit heavy and had a little bit of what the vet described as a heart condition. Heart rate was elevated, just was off. Now that calf made a full recovery, and this one here seems to be the same, so I don't know whether it's related or just coincidence. But vet was out this morning, seems to be the same thing. He's treated him exactly the same way, so he's in the back there, and he's going to have to give him a few days to see if he improves. The previous guy that had it made a full recovery and is an absolute just an animal of a calf, great calf. So we're hopeful of the same thing happening here, but yeah, he's in there asleep in the back. We might put a calf jacket on later. It's not cold, but we'll probably maybe stick one on him just at feeding time, just in case. But yeah, we had a really busy day on Thursday, moving cattle around. It's 4 cattle sheds, and every one of the 4 cattle sheds had cattle she moved around to accommodate the cows, all because of the weather, all because we couldn't get the cows and calves outside. So really tight for space, struggling for space, but it did alleviate some of the problems. You remember last week, well, it's only probably 2 weeks ago at this stage, we cleared out the meal shed. We put 8 cows and calves over in there. Well, over the last number of weeks we have been slaughtering some of our beef cattle, so that did relieve 1 pen in the bottom shed. So it now has been split, and there's some cows and calves in that. I'll stitch a video in here so you can see that. There's some cows in that are due to calve later on. So they are in it. The top shed that the weanlings are in, the weanlings have been moved down to the bottom shed, one of the bottom sheds here, and we have a creep gate up there in that shed. So there's now 10 cows and calves creeping up there. So I'll go up there and I'll show you those now in a second. But these in here are the ones that are closest to calving. That's here in this pen, so they are all here on the camera, and we can keep a tight eye on them. So yeah, they could really, some of those can calve at any time. And then everything else here are all in creeping. There's 4 cows and calves in this middle pen creeping, and 7 in this bottom pen. So yeah, we have space for 1 more in here, and then 4 more in here. So we have a bit of space now, which isn't too bad. There was a delicate little calf in the back there in this pen, cow and calf. The calf is a little bit delicate, but he is improving all the time and just getting a bit stronger. He was just a bit slow to come. From when he was born, he was just a bit slow to build himself up, but he's holding his own, doing better than that. Even he's getting out the right side of it. So that's kind of a calving update here. I'll show you the cattle in the top shed, and yeah, you can have a wee look at that. I'll be going through some of the stuff as well that we use for the crypto, just because a lot of people have been asking me about that. So we'll do that towards the end of the video. But yeah, we'll go up in the top shed and have a look at the cows and calves up there. Alright, so the 3 bulls with the injuries are all in here. 2 of them sore feet, 1 with a shoulder issue. All bulls, of course, and just after getting them back in and threw in a few bales of straw, so they'll walk them around, and we'll give them a few minutes and see if they still need to be shook out, I can go in with a fork, but usually they can get them shook out themselves after they stop eating and messing around with them. The black guy with the white head and the brown ears, he actually could go back into the pen he came out of, but the problem is he's been out too long. He's been out for about, he's in here for about 2 months. So if you put him back in at this stage, they'll all start fighting and messing and acting the man get the bulls. So he's here, he's settled, and we leave him here. The guy here, he's the guy with the shoulder issue. Is it him or the other guy with the shoulder issue? They're two Snow White Charlies anyway. One is a foot problem, the other is a shoulder issue. The shoulder issue is from, again, probably them fighting. One just tumbled him over and he fell awkwardly, and he's a bit lame on it. But they're doing okay, they're happy enough on the straw. And yeah, they're happy enough in the straw, and they can get fed here at the front and all, so they'll be fine here. So yeah, up to the other shed here. We'll have a quick look at the cows and calves that we put up here. So we have used this before for creeping back about, I suppose it's about 4 or 5 years ago. Again, another year where the weather was tough and we couldn't get the cows and calves out, and we changed this gate here on the pen that it was a creep gate, and it worked well in an emergency. So this is our weanling shed. So basically in the autumn on the weanlings, both reared calves and our own suckler calves, or bought in young stock, are all put in here. But as I say, we moved what was on this side out of here, cleaned up the pen, and we've changed it now into a creep area. So there's 10 cows and 10 calves in here now. And as I say, it works well. We don't like to have to do it, but in an emergency like this, it's good to have it at the same time. But yeah, calves are happy. I think that's the last calf there that had the heart condition. I think it was 529. I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. I'm 99% sure it is. But yeah, he's a great calf and has made a full recovery. But yeah, as I say, creep gate is here. There's a hole in it there just with the cows standing. Calves go in and out into the cows, drink back in here onto the straw. So yeah, handy enough setup and works well. So that's kind of a bit of an update on the cows and calves. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is just soon starting to feed, but first thing we're going to do is going to move the fertilizer spreader in the machinery shed. We had to move it earlier on. We had a little bit of an issue with our teleporter. Again, another ram. That's 2 of the rams in the last 12 months that have been acting up on us. Both rams started leaking at the barrel, on the barrel, and the first one was on the push out for the extension, and the second one ram that was leaking was the big ram on the lift up and down. So what we done in both cases was just buy a ram from scrapyard, from where there's teleporter 3420 scrapped. Actually, Quantities in Calves had both of them. So that's basically what, all you can see is my hand now because of the sun is. But that's basically what we done. Just took it out. We had some good help earlier from my brother-in-law Alex, also Dad and myself, and we got a change. It took about 2 hours to take one ram out and get the other one in. So yeah, good work, and got it changed, and the ram seems to be okay so far, no leaks on it, which is great. The other ram, I'd say we should be able to get it fixed or repaired, and then we'll keep it as a spare. That's what we plan to do. It's actually, let's take that off. There it is there. It's actually just sitting there on the ground. So yeah, it's at the very bottom of the ram where it started to leak. So yeah, we'll just have to get it repaired. But yeah, a bit of a pain having to change it. But I suppose the machine is getting, you know, it is getting a bit older, and you will have those kind of issues with bits of things leaking here and there on it. So yeah, just have to keep on top of it, especially as it's a machine that is used basically every single day. So yeah, that is that. The other thing, just to give a quick update on, is our silage pit. At this stage, like a lot of people in the country, it's starting to get quite low. We'd hoped to have cattle out probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago anyway. But with the bad weather, the young stock and all the cows and calves are in. So we're down to the last, well, you can see there with the extension went on at the end of the shed. And the extension on the pit last year was about 20, what was it, about 20, just something just over 20 foot, 22, 23 foot. So yeah, you can see how far we are into that. There's about, from here, I'd say this corner, there's about 3 widths of the grab left, I'd say, roughly, and we are into it. We're another block into it here, like on the other side. So yeah, we haven't that much left. We really do need it, like the rest of the country, to pick up later this week, so we can get stock out. Even if the weather forecast looks good, we might even get some out in the early parts of the week. We'll just see what it's going to do. It'll depend. We'll know better tomorrow evening, but I'd like to think that maybe next week's midweek video we could be letting some stock out, but that's just hoping. We'll know by tomorrow night. Alright, so I'm just over in the new tractor. I purchased something online that I hope fits onto the seat of it. It's a holder. When I actually turn around, you might see it a bit better. It's a holder, both on the side of the seat. It's a holder that, well, let's see, it has a holder for your phone on it, but you could mount, well, I intend to mount the sprayer's control handle on it. But I'm just hoping that it fits onto the seat. We're going to know in a second. There is holes there for it. It looks like it's close enough. We'll know in a second. I'm going to set the camera up and we'll set it up against it and see if the bolts enter into it. Alright, get ready to say a little prayer here. That's the right fit. I think there are four little screws come with it. No, they're like a hexagon, so they're not Torx. They're like a little hex head or an Allen key. Maybe it's an Allen key. No, it's an Allen key. An Allen key head, it's not. So far so good. There's one that's hard to get started. Doesn't want to start on it. If I get it started, it's right anyway. Yep. There's the last one. Once I see that it's all fitting okay, I can get an Allen key and just tighten them up. They're pretty hard to get started. There's the last one started now. I don't even know if you can see this. I think you can. But yeah, they're quite tight. Yeah, so I'll need to get the Allen key just to get them started. But you can see the kind of setup that it is. They're all ram mounted. It's only like there's a little 1-inch ball, you call it. But come with the fold of the ram mount folding holder and all, so that would be handy to have on it. But what I wanted for is holding the sprayer's handle, so I have a bit of modifications to do. It comes on that large plate, but I'm not going to need it that big, so I might be able to cut it, just drill a hole in it and put another one of these balls on it, or just mount it there like that. We'll see what way it goes. Alright, so there it is, all on, tightened up and finished, and a good job. It's well positioned there. Phone holder will be handy there. There is a phone holder built into the front of these, but it's kind of up here at the front, and if you had to get it or anything, it can be a bit awkward sometimes. But yeah, the fact that you'd have it there would be very handy. And then what I think I'll do is I'll get another couple of these. They're just little 1-inch ram mount ball. You can buy them online, just with a nut here threaded and has a nut on them, so you can put another one on there, and a similar setup to this here then that goes on to the bottom of the lever, and the lever then it can be positioned then back. It'll be somewhere like in this kind of a position here. You can move it over away from the phone, and it'll be in a good position then for using it in the field, when you're using the sprayer, of course. So, but yeah, simple job. And happy to have found that online. Alright, so final part of the video, we're going to have a little look at what we have done to beat the crypto. We had a terrible crypto problem up until a couple of years ago, to the point where we were going to quit the sucklers. We've 50 suckler cows, give or take, that we calve every year. Maybe, 1 or 2 doesn't go and calf for whatever reason, the usual. But of those 50, we were losing probably on average around 5 calves. There was years we lost, I seen us losing 6 or 7 calves 1 year, but probably the average was around 5, all due to this crypto diarrhea problem. And we done a couple of things to combat it. The first things that we done was, one was washing out the shed and disinfecting the shed properly, so giving the shed a thorough wash down, disinfecting the shed just with one of those strong dilutable disinfectants that you mix into water, spray it around the whole walls, the floor, pens, slats, everywhere, anywhere that the cattle are, spray it on it. So that was the first 2 things we done. The other thing that we done over the last number of years is, and I mentioned it before, we started to whitewash some of the walls as well. Because you do find that you obviously calves licking the walls, so yeah, just started whitewashing the walls. There is a kill in lime, so like when you whitewash the walls, if there's any bacteria there on the walls, the lime does work to kill it. So it is a good job. It's an old practice. Like, farmers years ago used to lime walls and cubicles and milking parlours and all that kind of stuff years ago. It used to be one of those things that they done every year, and probably something that we fell away from doing. It's a bit of a dirty job, and it's not just something that is really done that much anymore, or you don't see it much, but it has its benefits, so it is a plus. So that was the things that we done in the actual shed itself. The other thing that we done was, you see, we've tried all different products, all down through the years, and we had some with some minor successes that we thought it was going to work, and then it ended up it didn't, and or seemed to work for a while, and next thing was back, and we administered tablets to calves. We tried Hallicure. People have said Hallicure works. We've seen Hallicure as a calf killer. You know, it's too acidic. It was hard on the calves' stomachs. The calves, it would kill the calves on its own. You know, never mind the Crypto. But it works for people, and if it works, then well and good. All I can do is just say what our experiences was with it. But the two products that we started using and started to see the results of, I have them here. I'll show you them. One of them is Gabravet or Gabrovet. Gabravet, it's something that we just get in our vet's practice. It has got some antibiotic in it, so that's administered to the calves every morning. We then in the evening time administer probiotics, and the probiotics is actually, it's in an old Hallicure can that we had from years ago, so it's just set up in that with one of those little drenching gun on it, so you can it's trying to leave it as easy as possible to administer the products. But yeah, the probiotics then is given in the evening. You can't give the two products at the one time because Gabravet has an antibiotic in it, and the antibiotic isn't good for the probiotics. It can kill some of the probiotics and render the probiotic then pretty much useless. So you have to split the dosage. So there is a bit of work with it. It's not easy, it's not simple, there is a bit of work with it. You do have to go around twice a day and administer two different products. So Gabravet in the mornings, probiotics in the evenings. The probiotic is, look, if you're asking me, I think the probiotic is the most important thing. The Gabravet is good. The fact that it has the little antibiotic in it does help the calf. But it's the probiotic that makes the difference. The way the Crypto works is it lays dormant. It can even lay dormant. The bacteria, the bug can lay on the cow and stay on the cow, they say, for 12 months, and come back in on the cow and stay on the cow till the calf is born. So once the calf drinks the mother, that bug straight away is into the calf's stomach and starts working. The Crypto starts working then, and within 5 days the calf will have the diarrhea. So what the probiotic does is once you administer the calf, it starts to get the calf's gut and stomach working properly and as it should, and the calf can make full use of the milk, and the Crypto never takes hold. This is how we see it. This is how it's working. So yeah, calf, we administered the Gabravet is given for about 3 days. The probiotics, we usually give it until after the danger time for Crypto, so up to around 2 weeks. Some of the calves may have got a little bit longer than that, the fact that they're in longer this year. But what you find with it, because the calf's gut and stomach has gotten working pretty much straight away and gets going right, and the calf isn't affected by the Crypto, you have great calves. By the time you get to 10 days, 12, 14 days, you're not hardly able to hold the calf. The calf is that strong and doing that well. You can't hold the calf. The calf is getting bigger faster. He's more energy, and you see it on our calves over the last 2 years. There's day and night the difference in them. Even we found that when we had the Crypto issue, we could have up to 15, maybe close to 20 calves born before it would really take hold. And even on those early calves, they weren't doing as well as what the calves are doing now. Those ones that weren't affected initially when the calves were being born a couple of years ago, we're finding that even those calves that weren't affected weren't as good or as big a calves as what all the calves are now. The calves there's no comparison in them on the probiotics. So yeah, that's what we're using. The probiotic that we're using, it's that Selmanix. You can see it there maybe on the label, but yeah, it's a good stuff. Towards the end of the crypto, we started using that charcoal paste just for any calves that got loose, and again, it was good stuff. Now you do have to be careful with not to tighten the calf up too much with it, but once you administer it, it is a good stuff. Tightens the calf, will tighten up a calf with diarrhea, and yeah, just works well. But you do have to be careful not to give too much of it, and the calf will be dung and black for a few days afterwards, but you don't mind that once it dries them up. Both these products comes from, we purchased them from a guy called John Meade, who works for a company called I think it's Mazzolini. I'll put a link in the description below anyway, and I'll put his number in there as well. You can give him a call if you're in trouble or you wanted to purchase them off him or try them out. This is in no way an advertisement. In no way an advertisement. He doesn't even know that I'm doing this, but I'm just doing it for anybody who has an issue with crypto, because we've been there. We know what it's like. We know how hard it is and how dark a place it is when you've got 15 calves that are all spewing diarrhea out of them, and you're trying to save them, and some of them are dying, and it's a hopeless place to be. We know what it's like. Only the last 2 years getting on top of it has meant that we've stayed in the suckler business, because 2 years ago we were packing it in. The bulls weren't going to, at one stage the bulls weren't getting to the cows, and the cows, whatever calves was there, were going to rear the calves, and there was going to be we were going to just sell them off. So these products have meant that we've kept the suckler cows. But that is it really. That's what we're using. The probiotics, very important. Gabravet, which we're getting from a vet, has all the, I'm not going to go into what mills we give to every calf. It's all on the packaging, so you can sort that out or work that out yourself if you decide to go down that route. And yeah, hopefully this is of some help to somebody who is in some bother. So that's it. That's today's video. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, if it's in any way helpful to you, leave a comment down below. If any questions, leave them down below. And yeah, if you've enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the sub button. All that stuff helps the channel, and I'd be very much appreciative of anyone that does that. So that's it until later in the week. Hopefully there might be some calves getting out. We'll see what the weather does, and by Wednesday we'll have an update on that. So see you on Wednesday.